reinforcing NATO's eastern flank is paramount right now. And the United States has done a lot to do that. We already had permanently based forces here in Europe, but since the war in Ukraine, we've also brought to bear a lot of rotational forces that have come in. And having that permanent and also rotational set of forces has allowed us to do a number of things. One, it's allowed us to integrate further with the NATO alliance, hone our interoperability in various exercises. It's also allowed us to train the Ukrainians. A lot of the trainers that are currently in Europe right now, training the Ukrainians, come from those permanently and rotationally based U.S. troops. And were it not for their presence here, we would have been able to train and prepare the Ukrainians for the upcoming offensive as quickly as we have.
From your point of view, how effective this training, how Ukrainians deal with this issue, because they are very limited in terms of time and they should to work very fast.
So I've had the opportunity on a number of instances to go observe the Ukrainians themselves doing the training, both training at the Patriots back in the United States at Fort Sill in Oklahoma and in Germany at Grafenwehr, and the opportunity to discuss them and observe how they've trained. They've done splendidly on both accounts. I know, like for the Patriot training, for example, back in the United States, it was approximately 4 months in length. Typically, our soldiers go through a much longer course. The Ukrainian soldiers were able to accomplish it much quicker because of their experience and their competency in air defense. It was interesting because most of the Ukrainian soldiers that were there have had more successful intercepts than the U.S. service members, some of whom were twice their age. Really incredible. Also incredible to see the Ukrainians who are going through the combined arms training, not only to see their competency, see their motivation, and to see how quickly they adapted to using the new systems that we're providing them. In this case, it was the Strykers and Bradleys that the U.S. provided and the U.S. training I'm referring to. In terms of how they incorporate those systems onto the battlefield, that has yet to be realized. I think, though, based on the motivation and based on the competency that I saw, I think it will be a very lethal combination, and they will be very successful in their offense.
And the last question.
Sure.
General Zaluzhny said that he don't see any obstacles for Ukraine to be a part of NATO, except language issue, because not all Ukrainians they fluent in English and other foreign language. From your experience, how usually your instructors deal with this issue?
The issue of language. So we've brought in a variety of translators to all of our training events, and they were able to bridge that gap and to bridge it very successfully. In addition, a number of Ukrainians themselves spoke English, so they also sort of augmented that language deficiency. And then, as we look at the collective community, we're 50 nations here at the Ukraine Defense Contact Group. The United States isn't the only one that's been providing training and whatnot to Ukraine, and they've had to do similar things. In all instances, they've been successful. We've had to translate training manuals, for example, on the equipment, so that the Ukrainians obviously can take those manuals back and then know how to operate or troubleshoot or repair equipment on the go. And again, we've been able to accomplish that. I think it's important. Everyone has sort of questioned not only Ukraine, but the international community, right? And I think time and time again, right, we've shown that together, right, we are very powerful and very strong and certainly having an impact.
Thank you very much.